All right. Welcome, everyone. It's our Tuesday night team call. We have a very special edition because we just got back from an amazing event in Salt Lake City and actually in Provo, Utah, just a few days ago, launching our amazing new liquid collagen. Bruno has a name. It's the True Science Activated Collagen. And my name is Marilyn Mosier, and I am from Northwest Iowa and met Nancy quite a few years ago. I've been with LifeVantage 11 years now. And every time we go on trips, you were in the, when we went on our incentive trip to Europe, to the Mediterranean. I think that was one of the first times I'd met you because you had just gotten into LifeVantage, but she is the scientific advisory board member for our LifeVantage company. And she has a long list of accomplishments. And Nancy, I'm just so thankful and grateful to be connected with you through this community and through this amazing team that we have in LifeVantage. We are one team. Everybody helps each other out. And I talked to you at the doctor's meeting that we were at just a few days ago in Salt Lake City, or in Provo at the event. And you were just so gracious to say, you know what, I'll do a call with you. I mean, I want to make sure that everyone's educated and give people a chance. You know, the corporate call yesterday with Dr. Rodarty was amazing, but it was just hard to get all of our questions answered. So this gives us a little bit more of a one-on-one with you, and you can go over the specifics and answer our questions. But Dr. Nancy's Bryan, her bio is she is BS PharmD, Master's in Molecular Biochemistry, a veterinary and human medicine nutritional formulator. She is a certified diabetic educator and a certified geriatric counseling, that means for elderly, and certified veterinary zoo and human compounding. So when they compound different nutrients and pharmaceuticals, the compounding pharmacy, she is able to do that. And she's a nutrigenomics educator, of course. She is a Pro 6 in our company, soon to probably Pro 7, right? Which is amazing organization that she has rolling in our company. And also the LifeVantage Science Advisory Board member. And did I leave anything else out? You're a mom and a grandma, and yep, you live in Arizona, from Michigan. So I'm just going to toss the call over to you and just let you run with it, because I know people are so anxious and excited to learn about what sets our liquid collagen apart, because we know, number one, you tell us what collagen is doing for our bodies inside and out, why it's important, and then what sets us apart. Those three things for sure. And then we're going to go ahead and let people ask questions. So I'm going to toss it over to you, Nancy. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, great.
And we're maxed out on our 100 seats. So if
yay.
Recording will be out soon. So hang in there, people.
Well, first and foremost, thank you. I'm always humbled and honored to take the time of everyone, because everyone is so busy. So thank you all for being on tonight, because this really truly is an exciting time. It's an exciting time for our company in terms of having something that's just really timely, but more importantly, I think we just really needed to have something to really wrap ourselves around and get excited about. And the company has done such a great job of making a foundation with our NRF2 product. And then I think it got a little confusing for people. And so what I love the most is we're back to our activation nation. This is going to be about activation. And you're going to see down the road a few other products that are going to be coming forward. We do not make products and throw them out there just because other people have products. And I think that's a really important point, because there's a lot of other companies that do that. And I'm not criticizing them. They're just trying to be timely and offer good things. But the reason that we make products, and where our scientists and where our marketing departments are looking, is the areas that they think are going to have the most profound effect on us being proactively well with our bodies. Because we have to be proactive, because our medical system has become so reactive. And we want to be able to help as many people as we can to be able to get back in control and be the CEO of their body. All right. So having said that, first and foremost, our new product, as Marilyn said, has now lost the name Bruno, although we're all kind of fond of it now. and it's the true identity has come out as True Science liquid collagen. So first and foremost, why do we need collagen? What I want you to understand in terms of collagen in our body is it's utilized everywhere on a cellular level. It helps everything from communication in our cells to holding things together. And so I want you to think of it almost like a gel in terms of, for instance, our bones. When we're talking collagen, everybody's thinking, oh, our beautiful skin and our faces and our arms and legs and making the outside look good. But what happens on the inside is the most important. And when the inside gets fixed right, guess what happens? The outside just looks good because it's operating properly. So what we want to take a look at, a couple of things real quick first, is some of the areas that collagen is important to, things like our bones. We have like a matrix of crystals that hold our bones together. And guess what? As we start aging, that collagen that's in between all of that and kind of keeping it a little bit more flexible and able to bend around a little bit, and all those ligaments and tendons that are all holding everything together, they all have collagen as part of what they are. And so what happens is our bodies start losing the ability to make it, and they start losing the ability to keep it, okay? Because of all the different things we have going on in our bodies. This still comes back to oxidative stress in our bodies, and everything from Wi-Fi to, you know, emotional stress, to not eating right, to the chemistry in our foods. All of those things come into play, and we're breaking down faster than we used to, and we're aging faster than we used to. And so when you take a look even just at our bone structure, without having proper collagen, guess what? Those bones get brittle faster. They don't hold together as well. We start seeing lots more joint problems, and all those kinds of components are what really have an impact. Our blood vessels all, you know what do we start hearing about? We start hearing about hardening of the arteries, right? Well, some of that process has to do with collagen in our cells. We don't think about it like that. But also the same with our brain. If you want to look up something fascinating, go to pubmed.gov, put in dementia and Alzheimer's, and put in collagen. It's going to blow your mind, all right? That's where all the leading research is right now. So when we were coming out with this, I know it sounds crazy, I've got goosebumps, because I know and understand what a difficult time we've had as scientists and medical, dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's and some of the emotional stresses, PTSDs and alts. Not only that, but in our kids, our ADD, ADHD, autism, all of those things are signaling issues, and there's lots of components, and they all need to be balanced out. Well, collagen can have an impact on that. And so while we always say we can't treat, prevent, mitigate, cure, any of those things, our body is capable when it has what it's getting to need. So let's get to it real quick. First and foremost, so why is collagen important? It's the gel. It's what's kind of holding everything together, okay? That's the important thing to know, just in simple terms. So when they were taking a look at putting our product together, they wanted to make sure that we were activating. That was a really big component. But three things, if you don't remember anything else from this conversation today, the most important thing that you can remember is how we're going to be bringing this forward. That's through activating, replenishing, and maintaining. And the reason that's so important is, to date, I don't believe there's any other collagen out there with those capabilities, all three. They may do one of them. The majority of them replenish. You're going to hear a lot about bovine. You're going to hear lots of people say, well, if it's fish, it's no good. You got to understand, people say things because of their marketing, and they're making generalities. And so you can't, as people come to you and you're talking to them, make sure that you're getting very specifically by just going to our website, going to your page, and the frequently asked questions are going to take care of so many of the questions you're going to get. So print it out or take a picture of it or do something so that you have it readily available, because I will tell you it's going to answer a lot of the questions that we're going to talk about real quick. But first and foremost, let's talk about what's in it so that we do activate, replenish, and maintain. All right? So first and foremost, we have red quinoa. Now, what the heck is that? It's a very specific, basically kind of grain, if you will, okay? The reason that it was picked is because guess what? It helps the cell's ability to absorb collagen. That's really important. We want that collagen to go within, you know, that bone matrix we talked about. We want that to be in there and keeping it dense, all right? So that's a really important thing. It also activates collagen synthesis, right? So it's not only helping the absorption of the collagen going into a cell, it's also helping our body to be triggered to start making it, which is really cool. So that's that activation step. So you're going to see from red quinoa that it's going to activate collagen synthesis, which means building true collagen, all right? So we're activating it. We're building up the collagen. We're supporting the skin barrier by that collagen being able to get into the cells, okay? It's going to increase our antioxidant levels. It actually has an antioxidant component, all right? And the other thing that it does, and to me, this is what I got the most excited about, it minimizes the breakdown, okay? By like 39%. It's a massive number, all right? When we talked about the antioxidant levels, we're talking about this product as a whole, increasing SOD, superoxide dismutase, trash taker outer, the thing we get excited about with NRF2, right? By 27 times. Now, don't be mistaken in thinking, oh, good, I don't need to take that NRF2 tablet anymore. It has a little bit different function. Just like we take Axio with NRF2 qualities for our brain, the collagen components of the NRF2 activation are more specific genetically, nutrigenomically, okay, for very specific things towards collagen. All right, so that's the component of the red quinoa. We also have some berry and citrus. So we have blueberry extract, a really funky thing called a it's called a ponkan fruit, not pumpkin, ponkan. I believe it's spelled Ponkan fruit. And also a green Arceola berry. And what those do is they're adding the component of vitamin C, not synthetically. That's what so many of these products do. They add synthetic vitamin C. This is, it's a fruit extract form of getting true vitamin C into our body. And we're promoting, what it does is it's going to promote the collagen formation. More importantly, it really helps with elastin production. What's elastin production? It's making the elasticity in our cells. So of course, in our skin, you know, when you go like this on your hand, you want to see that skin go back right away, right? We want that elasticity there, right? That's exactly what we want. That's a good thing. But let me tell you something. I want that going on in my blood vessels and in my brain tissue and in my muscles too, okay? That elasticity is really important. And you know what? It supports the skin in a really unique way too, because it helps it to create its own moisture, okay? Now, when you live in Phoenix, that is a big deal, okay? And I can tell you, if some of you have had the chance to see some of my pictures, hopefully they didn't scare off too many people, but it made a significant impact in my thighs and in my arms. And you know what? It's hot here. I don't want to be wearing t-shirts and all that. I want to be able to do this, right? I want to be able to not worry about my saggy old arm skin, okay? And that's what it helps to take care of. Again, we don't treat, mitigate, prevent, or cure. But if you have something that's helping your body to activate itself again, to keep that moisture where it belongs longer, you're keeping the collagen from leaving or breaking down, right? Then most importantly is the third component, and that is our fish collagen peptides. This is what's brought a lot of questions, okay? So first and foremost, I've been getting all kinds of emails and texts and calls and all kinds of things. Is this farmed fish? No, it says that if you look on the bottle, it says, I believe, sustainably caught, something to that term. Well, you know what? You don't sustainably catch farmed fish. You know, you just don't do that. What they're trying to do is keep people like PETA and some other people from thinking that we're going with great big huge nets across the ocean and dragging up a bunch of fish all at once, right? They're responsibly caught. And that helps with sustainability of those kinds of fish. And the fish are, there's a tilapia, and the other fish is a fish I can hardly even pronounce it. So I'll let you go look into the notes. But basically, the bottom line, what you need to know is that those fish that we chose were chosen specifically because of their abilities to have large numbers of kinds of peptides for collagen. We have somewhere around 28 or 30 types of collagen in our body that have different roles. And most products only do one or two. Type 1 is the most prevalent. That's around 70% of what our body needs. And there's a good component of that within our collagen. But we also have a total of 10 different types of peptides. And we do not have the fish in there. What's happened is they've hydrolyzed the peptides. So I don't believe, and we're doing lots of studies on this, but everything that I know in regard to manufacturing and formulating and the things that we do, there should not be any of the components that create allergic reaction for people that are allergic to fish. They should still be able to take this product, all right? That's an important thing. And of course, we're always cautious. And of course, it depends on someone's definition of allergic. There's a big difference between somebody having a little bit of a rash and them stopping breathing. So, you know what, but I do want you to know, and we are in the midst of making sure that's going to be put into the frequently asked questions. But you need to know and understand the reason that we did that is because of the 10 different types of peptides that are all involved in all these other things. I did find the name of that fish. It's Pangasius. It's Pangasius, okay? And there's something particular about that helped with specific types of peptides we were looking for that we knew were going to be really enhancing. All right, so first and foremost, it's going to deliver those. It also has the amino acids broken down. The reason we hydrolyze is because if you don't, for instance, there's lots of collagens out there in powder form. Now the body has to take its own moisture to utilize that. Well, we're trying to do just the opposite. So we made it a liquid because we wanted it to go into the body and not have to require more moisture from the body. We want it to be giving more moisture. Second, we hydrolyzed it because it's broken down and will absorb very easily. And one of the aspects I want you to think about is, you know what, we have all this beautiful skin on the outside. Guess what our whole gut lining is? Yeah, that skin on the inside. That's what keeps the outside bad stuff from going inside. And as you recall, you hear things like leaky gut. Well, think about cells and them being plumped up properly and having the right density. That's going to go a long way in making sure we don't have things like leaky gut. So I think what we're going to see is a huge improvement. We're going to see people that are going to make comments in regard to things regarding their gut. I think we're going to see people making comments in regard to the ability for their thought processes to be lived. And that's called the gut-brain connection. And all of those are connected, believe it or not, utilizing things like our NRF2 and our collagen. So those are the things that we're hoping for. But the biggest thing is with those amino acids, what you're going to see is you're going to see an increase in density. That's because we're holding on to that actual collagen itself. Increase in density by 42%. And that's what my thighs saw to help get rid of all that crepiness, all right? All of a sudden now, you know, are they perfect? No, but it went a long way. And the same with my arms. It made a big impact I'm still doing the same kind of workout. I'm still doing the kinds of things I've done for my muscles, but now you're seeing the skin portion tightening up because of the density, and then the elasticity goes up by 8%. And that elasticity is huge. Okay?
And I think a lot of people have seen that picture on Facebook. And so you were using just one dose a day, and that was after 3 weeks, that before and after picture of her.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy. And then again, the ability for our body to retain that moisture. So again, remember, activate. We're activating our own body to do it. We're replenishing, so we're adding in some collagen through that fish, those peptides, and then maintaining. And that maintaining to me is a huge, huge ability, because that keeps what we're putting there, right? And then just a couple of things that I want to discuss. It increases catalase. Remember back to catalase with NRF2? Catalase is an enzyme, right? It goes up by 200%. That's massive. I mean, it's just beyond belief. And those enzymes play a major part in every part of our body. And so what I want you to know, yes, this is about looking great. We all want to look great, right? But I think that you're going to see a lot of people not only look great, but you're going to see them really feeling good and feeling youthful, because you know what? Every aspect of their insides is now starting to work better. And I think that that's the key, is that activation, and then being able to literally replenish with some of the proper kinds of peptides, and then that maintenance. And I love it, because that acronym is, guess what? ARM. Woo! We got arms out again, right? So let's see if people, I'm sure lots of people have lots of questions. I want to be able to answer some of those, but I hope that that kind of gave you, I often, sometimes I like to have slides, and people love to have the slides, but how many people take the pictures of the slides and then they don't go look at them?
I know, right. No, I just had a couple, I know at the doctor's meeting, they said there was that study on PubMed, and then they said to go to PubMed and look up the red quinoa, or look up Julius, was it? Or Julis? Is that another name for collagen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Julis. Okay.
So those are going to be two areas. What we're going to be doing is podcasts, kind of like we did during when COVID first started and we couldn't get together for meetings. We're going to start having podcasts, and we're going to have different people from the science board every week, hopefully answering some of the questions, and have it a place that you can bring people, right? Okay. Because you're going to have some people that, you know, want to know more. And the whole idea of our whole Activation Nation this year is focusing much more on not getting deep into this science. Yes, I want you to know. What you need to know is the people like me that know the difference, really care and understand. We know what we've got here, all right? All you need to know is that we have that background, and if you have people that need to know it, we can get them there. And we're going to be doing that through those podcasts. We're going to be doing it through small video clips, and the frequently asked questions will continue to grow. All right, those sheets are going to continue to be added to. Okay.
I'm going to make you co-host, and then you can help me look through the questions. Are you able to see the questions? Yeah. Somebody had asked how to spell the other name for collagen, and that is Julis. Is that correct?
Yes. Julis.
Okay. So then the other question.
I see one in here about diabetes, which I do want to address.
Okay, go ahead and talk about diabetes.
Again, you know what? When we start, one of the most frustrating things for those of us in the medical field that we deal with all the time is, you know, and I love Google. I love that we can look up so much stuff. But the problem is people throw everything into big baskets, okay? And so when they start, there's a lot more to a carbohydrate than just a carbohydrate. What kind of carbohydrate it is? You know what? Is it you know, a fructooligosaccharide? Is it, you know, a grain? All those different things matter. Carbs in general do matter, But what you need to know and understand is when they're talking about this product, every diabetic will be able to take this product because like our NRF2, it's small amounts of things, not massive amounts like in supplementation. And so they're not, you know what, with every single thing that a diabetic does, they have to be somewhat cautious if they're very brittle diabetic, if they have to really watch. But if this is just a matter of somebody with the type 2 diabetes, it's not going to, my bet is that it's going to be so enhancing to their body that the utilization that their body is requiring and the things that it's going to need to do, it's going to reduce that. And as a result of it, our body will handle the sugar issues better. So I think that you're going to see a lot of diabetics do really, really, really well on this product.
Right. And somebody had a question about if somebody had BC, I assume breast cancer, can they take this? I would assume, yeah.
Lots of conversation about them not being able to take, and that's because the things that are out there do not activate, replenish, and maintain. They just replenish and they push too much of something, which pushes the chemistry out of shape and creates a lot of problems. The same with NRF2. Our NRF2, we have already proven in science that it enhances normal cell function with a pulsatile action on and off. We do not activate cancer cells, all right? And we have lots and lots of doctors out there that go, oh, they can't take NRF2. Well, that's because some of the other stuff out there is pushing like a supplement and it's not pulsatile and there's no activation, it's supplementing. And in their case, it could possibly, the NRF2 other stuff that's out there could possibly be feeding cancer cells. And so, you know what, I understand the doctor's dilemma in that regard, but they don't understand what we have. And it has to do with that activation factor. So always get back to the activation nation in your brain. When you hear these questions, always remember, that's what separates us from everybody else. Okay.
Right. And it has a wonderful flavor.
Mhm.
Now, if you had an acute issue, so I have a friend that was taking it and she had really bad back pain. She was kind of thinking about doubling up, but she said that just the one dose a day helped her back pain. So because we hear that this can help joint pain, back pain, whatever. And again, we don't make medical claims. We're just saying your joint.
What happens is it goes in and it's, you know what, think of it like this. Think of it, if you've got a nerve being pressed on and now all of a sudden the cell is a little bit denser and a little bit more elastic, you might not have nerves being pressed on so much. So that's the deep chemistry of it. We don't, again, treat, mitigate, prevent, or cure. No. I don't care. All I know is get it in your mouth, and one a day is probably going to be plenty for everybody. You can take it any time of day. I think it does best with food. I know that some of us have already added it in with some Axio. If they want to do it that way, you can do it that way. I like it so much, I just drink it.
I do too.
But you can, if you want to put it into, you know, your daily wellness or your Axio, it can do that. That's not a problem. But it does absorb better with food. But take it, no matter what, take it. You can take it at nighttime. If you've forgotten, you've gone all day and you forgot, take it. Okay? Just take it.
And it doesn't have to be refrigerated unless it's open, because when in the process of making this, I was talking to that Christine, the scientist at the doctor's meeting, and she said, we actually make it in the process, we heat it to a point that it will never get heated to again. Is that correct? So you can't
bottle at 170 degrees.
170 degrees. So like
two reasons we didn't use plastic. A, we don't need any more plastic parts. Okay. Right. Because I don't care what you say, I don't care how good the plastic is, you get parts of it in there, and we don't need that. So we didn't make it plastic, and I know it would have made it easier because it would be lighter and all that. But we put it into glass because in the manufacturing process, when it's 170 degrees is when it's going in that bottle. Okay, so it's pure, right? Once you open it and you put your mouth on it, if you think you're going to take half of it in the morning and half in the afternoon, then pour it out into something. Don't put your mouth on it or put it in on your lips or whatever, because you're going to put bacteria and contaminate it. And there are no preservatives in there.
Right. Now, my number one thing is you can't really overdose on it. they said in the doctor's meeting, but they said don't take like more than 3 a day.
I
But
would,
say you have an acute issue that you want to do like 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Would that help, or is it not needed?
and here's what I tell people, depending on what it is that they're trying to work on, sometimes it does help. And you know what? Try it for 2 or 3 weeks and then back off. I've also had people say, okay, I'm going to take it every day for 60 days. And then after that, can I take it once a week? I'm going to say my personal feelings. I want to be activated every day, just like my NRF2. I don't take my NRF2 once a week.
Right.
I continue to take it every day. There may be people that need it a little extra and take 2 now and then. And maybe then you can back down to 1. But I think for the most part, the majority of people are going to do really well on that bottle.
Right. And it's just like the NRF2, there is a half-life. So, is it 20 minutes or 90 minutes? I've heard both.
Well, it's complicated. So it's kind of phase 1 and phase 2.
Okay.
All right. So for me personally, I the longer that you wait in between before you're taking the second dose, the better you're going to be. All right. But for me, I think if you're separating out, some people like to separate taking. I like to take my probiotic first thing in the morning, and I don't do anything else. But you only need 15 or 20 minutes because it's just an acid thing in the stomach thing that you're worried about. With interactions between those small amounts in the NRF2 and other things, sometimes it's more helpful if you separate those out more by, the 60 to 90 minutes. Yeah.
And they did say in the doctor's meeting, yeah, more than 3 of these in a day, you might get a little constipated. So, but that was anecdotal that one of the doctors at the meeting said that they had seen 3 or 4 different people that had issues with IBS or Crohn's disease, or, we don't want to say disease, but we're just saying issues with their bowels and digestion. After taking the collagen for a few weeks, things really got better. That's all we're saying. So, not, again, it's not
Well,
a medical.
again, as activation of the body to have better to normal function. That's what we're doing. Activation to have our body optimally do what it can do at the moment where you're at.
Right. And I would just say, just so you know, there is an activated stack, or this glow stack, that you can get these 2 together, and there is a savings of, I believe, what, $15 or something. But putting them together, don't you think that is just like the sweet spot, right?
Yes.
So
down the road, we're going to find this product to be incredibly valuable. I know all the time, everybody used to always go through all the, well, what's the most important if they can only do a couple of things or whatever. And Brian Dixon and I used to go kind of around and around on some of it. At the end, we both kind of came up with the same conclusions. But I feel very strongly, foundation NRF2 is by far most important. Right. There's no human or mammal at this point in time that doesn't need it, sadly, because of where our planet is. But having said that, the next part kind of comes down to what's going on with the person. I feel very strongly about daily wellness. Many people do not know and understand that the daily wellness goes a long way to helping your gut. And sometimes more so even than our prebiotic. It's a postbiotic that's very powerful. And so I find that to be very helpful. I think that's where we're going to end up. I think we're going to end up seeing NRF2, Axio, NRF1, and this collagen products being some of our most important for bodily function and cell rejuvenation. Right. Okay.
I love that. And then there was a question about weight loss, because I had talked to a few people that have been on the trial, and some of them had lost weight, 10 pounds, 7 pounds. I mean, I just wondered, is that something that you're hearing? I know there are companies that actually just do a collagen for a weight loss.
Well, remember the first part I told you about, that red quinoa is kind of a grain. What's one of the first things that a lot of people utilize when they're doing weight loss programs? As they're trying to utilize some grains, kind of plumps up what's going on in the digestive tract. You're not as hungry and it functions better. Well, that I think is one of the components, that red quinoa. When you're increasing the density of each of your cells, and the elasticity of your whole digestive tract. It's going to start optimizing, utilizing nutrients. And when you start utilizing nutrients, the number one thing that happens is your liver talks to your pancreas and your digestive tract. They have to all communicate all to your brain. And so I think what happens, and I don't know this for sure, we'll see as time goes on, but so much of the US has insulin insensitivity. We're not connecting our insulin to our sugars. And I have a feeling that it's going to have a really huge impact on helping our body activate to do that again. And that would explain, especially the midriff section, because that's where we store fat when we don't utilize it with our insulin, and we store it. So I have heard a lot of it. And here's the important thing: when you lose weight, one of the first things that happen, you start sagging. So how fun is it if you can lose weight and not sag? I think that's awesome.
Right, exactly. And then somebody asked about building muscle, collagen or whey protein.
You know what? Our body demands different things for different times for different things, right? And again, the muscles utilize having the ability to keep the collagen there. I think is going to increase the muscle size, if you will, and its ability to communicate, which is really important. Okay. And I can definitely tell you that my muscle, like the formation of it is back. I was an athlete when I was young, and so I've always had strong arms. But I can tell you that the definition is definitely returning again, which is awesome.
Yes, and somebody asked about taking the collagen together or separate. That doesn't matter, right?
Does not matter.
Okay, and then
I mean, I imagine, I haven't done this yet, but our whey protein, I imagine sticking that collagen in there might taste really good.
Yeah, right. And then so I've also heard at the doctor's meeting, like Dr. Brimhall said, we haven't seen anything yet as far as results, because usually, is it 90 days is about the sweet spot for seeing the max, results? Or, are they doing a study on this or anything? Or
we've continued to have people in trials, yes. And okay. they did have that at the office with people there, not just out in the field.
Yes. So, and he did say the people on the trial, or Christine, the scientist, had said the people on the trial, when they saw that 4 weeks, they saw the results, and 8 weeks is very, very unheard of to that fast of results. But those people, she said, did not take the Nerve 2. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that study was done on the 4 weeks results, and the 8 weeks results was just collagen only on those people. But just how enhanced would it be just to have that Nerve 2 on board with it too? So that's amazing.
And this helps us. There's going to be a lot of people that have not really understood or thought about NRF2 in the past. This is going to open that door, because there's going to be a whole lot of people. I know when we get some of these pictures out there and posted, there's going to be a bunch of people say, yeah, I want that. But now they're going to start understanding activation, and that opens the door for us to really talk about NRF2, NRF1, NAD, and to infinity and beyond.
Yeah. Yes, and there is a website, or if you want product questions, they said this at the doctor's meeting, it's productquestions@lifevantage.com. Mm-hmm. If you have a specific product question, so you can send that to productquestions, all one word, @lifevantage.com. Okay, we want to keep this really brief, so I was going to try to share the screen. If some of you have not seen, did you want me to show the picture?
At this point, it doesn't matter.
It's been all over.
My people by accident sent it out to like 500 people, and after that, it was like, well.
I know, but it's not
so valuable. It's so valuable.
Yes, it is.
And here's the thing: I want to give people hope.
Yes.
I want people to have hope about how they can look and feel.
Okay, can you see that? That is the before 3 weeks and the after, and you did not do anything different other than taking the collagen, and then you're on the activation, of course. She's on all of our amazing products, but still, You didn't put any other creams or anything different. You use the skincare, I'm sure. But
Yes, I do. I always have used. I use our body lotion.
yeah.
But I had been, and look
Yeah.
how dry they still were.
Right. So I am just so amazed. And thank you for sharing and being brave enough to share, because those pictures, before and after pictures we're seeing, it's like, you know what, you could sit there and talk to somebody all day long, but when they see a picture, that's like, wow. And then the people that say how they feel on the inside, did you have a lot of different feeling as far as like energy or?
Oh, it definitely takes you to a new level.
Really?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. It just lifts you up. You just feel good.
That's what Amy Homewood said too. She goes, wow, I've only been on this 7 days and my workouts are different. I feel more energetic and focused. And so it was just, yeah, an incredible, amazing stories just to hear everybody's different experiences on this. And we want it, just like we did the teaser at the beginning. Dr. Bryan said that there are coming out with some new products coming out in October or this fall. And so make sure that you are at Global Convention in October in Phoenix.
You are not going to want to miss it.
You won't want to miss it. It's going to be another big new launch. So this is so exciting to be part of this company at this time. We are so grateful for your time too, Nancy. You've been amazing tonight. Any other quick last questions? Otherwise, I'm going to let everybody go. You want to look at the chat, Nancy? You know, and anybody that asked, does it help this or that, or you know,
question lots still about the NRF2 and the collagen. Yes, you can take them together.
Yes, you can take them together. Yep. And all of our products are made synergistically to work together. So just know that you know, we're not supplementing, we're activating. So that's the difference, and make sure people know that. And let's see, anything else that we left? Oh, I did have one of the doctors that I knew that asked me, do we know how much vitamin C is in it? And I heard you say earlier, it's not a synthetic vitamin C, but do you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a minimal amount. It's
okay.
not a massive amount, and it's proprietary because it's in a blend.
Okay.
So I can't really state it. But what I can tell you, the most important thing is they want to know the amount of collagen, and that's 5 grams, which is the optimum.
5 grams is optimal, right? Okay. All right. Well, I think
the way we do things, we don't want to have too much vitamin C, because if you have massive amounts of vitamin C, it starts counteracting what you're doing. So when we put together, they assume if you're taking daily wellness, there's a little bit of vitamin C in there. And so all of that was kept into account when we put these products together.
Right. Because when you take too much vitamin C, it becomes a pro-oxidant, right? So
exactly. And what you need to know and understand is when we put these things, just like our Tri-Synergizer, you've seen some of the figures about what percentages all go up, because when they're in conjunction together, our body wants food. God designed us for food. What we're doing is just putting all the nutrients together, and our body literally is absorbing them as one unit when it's taking some of these things in and then utilizing them to turn on these pathways. That's the true definition of nutrigenomics. And that's why I think we're seeing so many different areas. And personally, I think one of the reasons we are feeling good is because I think we're utilizing some of our other nutrients from NRF1, NRF2, and NAD even better, because I think we're optimizing how our gut is able to absorb nutrients.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that will do it. We had a full house on our call tonight. Thanks for everyone that joined, and especially to Nancy. We appreciate you so much. You were amazing, and we learned so much tonight. So thanks so much, and have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thank you, Nancy.
So get out there and share.
Yes. Right?
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And thanks,
Thank you.
Gary, for streaming it. We also streamed this into the You Got This page. So if you did miss it, otherwise I will get the replay and recording sent out. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.